All right, so let's get back to our corporate conversations. And the next management and the stock and the company on our radar is Bajaj Auto. The April sales came in slightly below street estimates. Domestic sales seem to be still under a little bit of pressure. Exports, however, continue to pick up. So let's discuss the demand environment. We have Mr. Rakesh Sharma, Executive Director at Bajaj Auto, joining in. Mr. Sharma, good morning, sir. Always a pleasure to have you on. So, I have to start with this, right? Because expectations are running tall. And it's been a tough last couple of months. Now, on the two-wheeler segment, I know three-wheeler sales picked up, but on the two-wheeler side, I think sales are down about 7% overall. Domestic sales were down a little more, a little over 10%. So what's happening in April? Is this pickup not coming through? What are the signs you're getting on the ground?
Good morning. Not last 2 months, but I would say post-October, it's been a very choppy domestic motorcycles market. And if you recall, Q4 was almost -2 or -3% for the industry. And therefore, April, looking out for April was very important because it's also like a mini season in the north, which are the marriage markets, which, by the way, constitute almost about 45% of the industry, which is the marriage markets. And there has been a very smart growth over March in April. That is the metric we were looking out for. It's difficult to compare this April with the last one. It would be a flawed comparison because all the marriages last year in the north were, bunched in April. So April was a big spike. But this year, happily so, the marriages are evenly spread out over April-June period. So therefore, we were looking to understand the industry and to understand our relative performance in the industry. We were looking more at how April is behaving versus March rather than previous April. So both from an industry point of view, there has been a very good growth, which is very heartening because it shows directionally the industry could be getting back into some growth.
I take your point, sir, and absolutely no harm in looking at quarter to quarter, given that the base is different with the marriage season being different. But so slightly wider question, we've just seen the first month of this year. How confident are you about an overall recovery? So, monthly run rate should be back above, say, 4 lakh units. If April is the right litmus test, you just heard the analyst there, not the analyst actually, the stock investor over there from one of the mutual fund houses saying that he's penciling in big recovery by the time we're in Diwali. For your business, for two-wheelers, domestic specifically, what do you see ahead next few months?
Well, I didn't listen in to what was being said in particular, but I think there is, April is pointing towards recovery. And like I said, it would be erroneous to just look at 1 month because that is the nature of the things right now. It was, when there is growth, it's wrong to extrapolate it and vice versa. But I think the industry delivered a 5 to 6% growth over the last financial year. And our estimate is that it should continue to do so. However, it may not be evenly spread across all quarters. We feel that Q1 should be a growth once we complete the quarter. And the right time to really understand the industry would be more around June or so. But at this point of time, yes, it is looking like basis April, that industry over the financial year should behave very similar to what it has done last year.
Just a word on specifically on individual models, on Pulsar, maybe even others. Were there any price cuts taken in April?
In fact, it was a mixed bag. There has been some inflation, so we passed on some pricing, and some of the models we have adjusted the pricing, particularly at the entry-level Pulsars, etc. Once we've got all the inflation costs, OBD2 costs, etc., and looked at competition, we have sort of calibrated the pricing. So it's a mixed bag. Overall, there have been some price cuts and there have been some price increases in domestic motorcycles as well as exports.
Could you tell us on the Pulsar particularly, Mr. Sharma, has there been a cut?
Pulsar has 15 or more than 15 models. So there has been a price cut in some, and there has been price increase in some.
Okay, you want to talk about it?
Our sales is Pulsar, so it's a very wide spectrum.
So you want to talk about it on a blended basis? What was the pricing change?
I don't have that number readily in my mind, but these are very minor changes. They're within -2 to +2%.
Got it. Okay, all right. That would be a fair estimate. TVS in the earnings call, they spoke about the African market hitting rock bottom, and they're expecting growth from here on. Could you tell us what is the run rate you did in Nigeria? Because that's a market that we normally talk about. Is there a recovery that we're seeing? How is the trend?
Well, this period in Africa, particularly Nigeria, is a low period after the highs of Christmas, and immediately post-Christmas, the market sort of goes in Jan, Feb, March, and then into a decline, and then it sort of picks up again, I think, in August, September. So our retails are at about 15 to 18,000 units per month in this period. I would say slightly below expectation, because we have sensed that the latest round of volatility caused by all the geopolitics as well as discussions on tariffs, etc., has dampened the sentiment a little bit from a currency point of view in Nigeria. You see, what happens is the currency appreciates also. It's almost a dollarized economy, so people start to hold back purchases, hoping that it'll become stronger and the prices will sort of steady. So there has been a little bit of uncertainty over the last couple of months. It is settling down now, and hopefully things should start picking up.
So, sir, to round it up, if we talk about, say, exports in this month, you did about 1.45 lakh units with a 4% growth. So if we talk about the near future, because I understand there's too many moving parts for long-term visibility, but let's say next 3-4 months, what should be a steady run rate on exports in terms of absolute units, and also the domestic two-wheeler segment?
Well, I think the exports will, this month is in particular, again, a base effect, which is there because, there is shipping adjustments, etc., depending on how actually the sailings occur. And it's not 4% in real terms. I would say that we should be clocking between 10 and 15% growth in the next 3-4 months horizon, like you say, and which is the growth which we've been clocking over the last few months, and we expect the same to continue. So we are talking about 160,000-170,000 units per month.
All right, Mr. Sharma, thanks a lot for stopping by and filling us in with your take on how the industry is panning out, as well as for Bajaj Auto. We look forward to having a chat with you as the month progresses.